I've closed 4, 5, and even 6-figure monthly retainers for marketing services. The common denominator? Having strong case studies. So in this video, I'm gonna give you my exact case study template that I've used to close these deals. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name's Nicholas Kirchner. I'm a 3-time multi-7-figure business owner. I sold my first business at 21. Today, I'm the co-founder at Hydra, where we help agencies, consultants, and B2B service providers scale their revenue and profit. So let's get into it. Now, the purpose of case studies is to act as social proof and concisely tell our prospects that we've been able to take someone from their exact situation to their exact goal. So if we can show exactly how we took that client from A to B and include precise details on how we did it, that is going to make it 10 times easier to actually close a sale. So as far as your titles go, I like to start with something simple like how XYZ brand went from 100K a month to 300K a month by doing X, Y, and Z, right? So we want to fill in what that strategy was, what was the result created or the growth created, or just the end outcome that you know your ICP actually wants to hit. And then what was your unique mechanism for actually achieving that result? What was the method that you used? What's the process you used? Or just some more details about it in a concise fashion. So in every case study, you're going to provide some background, right? What kind of company did you help? Where were they at before they started working with you? And what were they seeking to solve? Make sure you include some of their struggles, their pain points. A lot of the things that they actually communicated to you in the sales process is super helpful here. So I actually like to go back to the sales call where I closed this person and have them tell me their problems in their own words so I can include that in your case studies. Oftentimes, your current customers or your prospects give you the best ammunition for your future marketing efforts. Next, we're going to touch on their challenges or the situation. So where were they in their journey before they started with you? What are the flaws and shortcomings in their current strategy? And what pain points did they share, right? And also make sure you double down if you come across these pain points a lot in your sales process. So in my case studies, I'll typically say this business was struggling with X, Y, and Z. And I hear this from a lot of agencies in this position because of this. And that just makes it seem that you're even more of an expert in terms of what you're talking about, because this isn't a unique situation. You've seen it 1,000 times before. And once again, that builds comfort that, oh, this person's walked this walk thousands of times. Of course they could do it for me. The next thing we want to hit on is the process. So what is the approach to actually solving this company's problem? And I want you to explain your unique strategy. And you're going to say what, but not necessarily the how you did it. Now, the what is going to open a loop in your prospect's head by saying, okay, I see this outcome. They're telling me what they did to get there, but not how they did. That's why they're going to jump on a call with you and talk with you. So you're going to want to highlight what action steps you took to solve this issue as well. So A, B, C, all the way to Z on what you did. And I don't think there is a case study that I have read that I've said this is too detailed, it's too in the weeds, because guess what? The people who click on a case study and open it and don't read it through all the way anyway, they weren't going to buy from you. But the people who are going to buy from you typically want all of the information possible before making that decision. Also, you're going to want to include if you encountered any issues along the way in solving your prospect's problem. Now, this builds transparency. Not every campaign, not every engagement is going to go off without a hitch and everything's just perfect. That's obvious. It happens in every business. So by you being transparent around some of those things that you had to test or failures or shortcomings and how you guys corrected those together, also helpful to include in a tactful way. And finally, and most importantly, the end result. So this is the primary section where we're going to back up our claim. So in the title, we make this big claim, hey, we tripled this person's business or whatever. We actually need to explain and provide proof. So what is good proof in a case study? Numbers, charts, graphs, screenshots if you're able to share. Now, quick note on this, a lot of prospects are going to sometimes have issues with you sharing exact numbers about your client. So what you're going to want to do is reduce those results down to percentages. That's my first thing that I always try. So if it was 100K to 300K, I'm going to say, hey, we grew this business by 300% instead of giving exact figures. Typically, clients are a lot cooler with this because you're not revealing any sort of personal information about the business. So percentages, very safe way to do it. The second thing is make sure in your agreements that you have a clause in there that they're giving you permission to actually go ahead and use some of those results in your marketing efforts. Most people don't have an issue with it, but if you are working with larger companies, I would expect that there's going to be a lot of red tape around this. And you might only be able to get a statement as a testimonial from someone on the team or something like that. But if you work with SMBs and not enterprise, there is a way that you should be able to frame your results. So a few things we want to cover. What was the result? How quick did it happen? How did your service actually increase revenue or profit? If you provide services outside of that don't directly tie to those, make sure it's tied to your prospect's actual meaningful end outcome, which if you do any sort of marketing service, or you have any sort of info product, or you have any sort of B2B service, it's probably going to be tied to top and bottom line. So try and find a way to get there. But in some nuanced cases, other results are also satisfactory. And then also, did you reduce the amount of effort, struggles, or time it took for your prospect to reach that result in the past? So we want to map out what the gains were, of course, on the quantitative side, right? The numbers, but we also want to hit on the qualitative side. What are the things that we solved that are huge reliefs, whether it's time spent, whether it's effort spent, because those are equally important depending on who you're talking to and why your prospects actually buy from you, which you're going to know best. So again, the more proof we have, the better and the stronger the case study. Now, the reason that we want to have all of this together is because it gives a complete picture. Where I see people get this wrong is they just take a screenshot of a Stripe dashboard or a Shopify dashboard or something equivalent to that. They give no context and it's like, okay, cool. Anyone could fake that. But in doing this, you actually show the thought process behind it and show your work. This proves competence, confidence, and expertise, which is everything that you need for a prospect to feel confident in hiring you to solve their problem and paying you a lot of money for it. So if you got value from this video, would really appreciate a like and a sub. Over 90% of you who watch this channel are not subscribed, but it really helps me get this information out to more people. And at the end of the day, help more people scale their companies. So, and if you want this exact case study template that I've used to close 4, 5, and 6 figure retainers, it's actually going to be linked in the description down below. So you'll be able to just copy, paste it, and steal it for yourself. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one.